Hello everybody and welcome out to another fantastic video here on the Comic Drake channel. I am joined today with...
Matt Kohler. How's everyone doing?
I don't think the chat can respond, but I can tell you that I am doing fantastic. In the live chat we have Who Be Dat. So, who be this?
My name is Matt Kohler. I am the creator of the show Batman Master of Fear. It's a web series about Batman who has departed from Gotham for 3 years, and now a new enemy, Nightmare, is in Gotham seeking Batman, and so he is going after every single ally that Batman has, and now it's up to Batman to return to face Nightmare once and for all.
Okay, so mainly going to be focusing more on the GCPD Police Department, or well, I guess Gotham City Police Department.
Well, the first episode, it really focuses on that, and then the next couple of episodes that we're doing revolves around Batman and Nightmare.
Okay.
Mainly because the first episode is really kind to cement the universe itself, because it's a very different universe. It's set in the Roaring 20s, so we wanted to make sure that people understood what we were doing before we get into, the juicy stuff.
Sure, totally makes sense. Well, we have the trailer right here. We'll go ahead and watch it. Now, I want to tell everybody right now, I have actually not seen the trailer. I've only seen the press release and the screenshots. So this is going to be my first time along with y'all, and let's go ahead and enjoy this.
Commissioner Gordon. In the last month, 10 police officers have been killed. Is Gotham City safe?
If the mayor can do everything in his power, then what are we still doing here?
And I promise you that I, Roman Sionis, will do everything in my power to stop the terror of the Black Mask and any other terrorist that threatens the city.
Come now. I thought you would be smarter than this.
All right, I can dig it. So that is the first trailer for Batman Master of Fear. Dude, okay.
So it took so long. First of all, it took about 2 years to get all of this done, especially the story, because the hardest part was coming up with the Nightmare character. It's really hard to come up with your own Batman villain, and that's what we were trying to do, is figure out a way to give a new adversary for Batman, and one that we think the fans would enjoy.
Sure.
And so
sense.
the last shot is of Nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of see him. He has the red devil mask, very similar to feudal Japan samurai mask.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen the show Rurouni Kenshin? We based it off of the character Hanya.
Okay.
And then as for just the character itself, he's very martial arts centric. I am obsessed with martial arts itself.
Yeah, I saw a good amount of the choreography there at the beginning too. Looked good.
Yeah, I thank you. And I've been doing martial arts for about 15 years.
Really?
So I'm obsessed with like Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, all of them. And so that was the thing that we emphasized, because a lot of web series, fan films on the internet, the choreography is very mediocre. And so that was the first step, was I want to show Batman as a fighter, as a martial artist. And that's something that's not even done in the movies. I mean, the Christopher Nolan movies had amazing action, but in terms of the fight choreography, it was very weak.
Right. Now, did you do the choreography yourself for this?
Yes, I actually did the choreography. I am trained to do that. I also do stunts. You can kind of see me at the very beginning.
Okay.
Fighting someone else that we will not reveal. I always love being the guys who get beat up. So that's kind of my Alfred Hitchcock, is just a random henchman that gets annihilated. It's a lot of fun, especially the over-the-top acting that you get to do when you get beat up.
Right. You get to really go, ugh! You really sell it.
Yeah, it's pretty enjoyable. I did all the fight choreography, and it took, because we didn't have a lot of time, because money was involved with that part, and so it took 24 hours to do the choreography for that first scene.
Really?
The actor Johnny Alonso, who was in the show Gotham, he came in immediately. We were like, all right, we got to do the choreography. So I taught him everything I could, and within the next 24 hours, he did that scene.
Really?
And he was blown away. And I mean, and then the other person who plays Jim Gordon, Ben Kearns, we've worked together before. We worked together in North Carolina through the Society of American Fight Directors, so we were very comfortable with each other.
Sure.
And so we learned the choreography within about 6 hours, and then we just went to town.
Okay. So really, what's really going to set you apart from any other kind of project like this is going to be mainly the fighting and the choreography. You're really going to try to sell it because, obviously, Batman, Nightmare, these are both characters that are heavily martial arts focused. You might as well make them look the part, too.
Yes, exactly. And the other thing that we wanted to really do was acting. Acting was always something in web series for like Batman, Nightwing, that it wasn't very great. They didn't sell the story, and that was another thing that we wanted to accomplish. And I hope we did that so far. I think we got amazing actors. We got professionals. As I said, Johnny Alonso, he was in One Tree Hill, Dawson's Creek, Gotham. We got the guy who plays Nightmare, Raul Liba. He was in this film called Bone Tomahawk with Russell. He's done a lot of stunts. He was, he was in The Wire. He worked a lot with Idris Elba. And so we tried to find actors who could tell the story, because even I don't care how great the fighting is if the story's crap,
right.
The acting, no one cares.
That makes total sense. So, quick question. Obviously, Nightmare has this the samurai mask going on. I couldn't help but notice in the trailer that you're dealing with Roman Sionis, the Black Mask. So, if we have Black Mask and we have Nightmare with the mask, I know it's probably asking a little too much into spoiler territory, but are they related in any way? It's a very interesting choice right there. Could you convict any other notable Batman villains, but you went with Black Mask?
So the first reason why we went for Black Mask was because I've always loved the character.
Great
Then I love him. And then we realized when I came up with the idea for Nightmare that he does have a connection.
Okay.
He worked with Scarecrow to pretty much create a project called the Nightmare Project. It was the idea that these lesser-known villains could never beat Batman on their own. They could, and so Scarecrow came up with a way to adapt to that. He created Nightmare, which is the evolution of fear. Nightmare truly believes he is fear itself, and he believes that he is the only person that could ever beat Batman. And once he does, he will become fear itself.
So you're saying that Nightmare is essentially a martial arts Scarecrow Black Mask sort of hybrid who is going to take on the GCPD in Batman's absence, trying to lure him back so he can then take down Batman.
Exactly.
Fascinating. That, I can say, we have never seen that in the comics before.
Well, I mean, that was a huge goal, and I'm not gonna lie, it was very hard to accomplish so far. And with Nightmare, the whole idea was, well, at first I was like, well, why don't we make him more of a Jackie Chan style fight? And then we found Raul Liba, who is this 6'4", 240-pound man. And we're like, we can't have him, doing like front flips and corkscrews in midair. That's just not possible. So then we came up with okay, he's a brawler. He knows Muay Thai. He knows Jiu-Jitsu. And Raul Liba, he has done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for about 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we were really happy with that find. And he has 3 dojos that he owns in the
3 dojos.
Yeah. He is
okay.
He's one of those guys that he is almost on the brink of becoming a known. He's like a known unknown. He actually was the #1 role or pick to become Eric Killmonger for the Black Panther movie.
Really?
Yeah, and so then obviously, Michael B. Jordan got it.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta go with like the super A tier for that one. But dude, he clearly knows his stuff.
Yeah, and then obviously the voice.
Voice was fantastic.
When we heard the voice, we were like, okay, we got something here. I mean, it reminded me a lot of like, James Earl Jones-esque like type of like, delivery. But, I mean, that was like the first couple of tries with that voice that he really got. Although I will say that when we were filming, it was not like that with the mask.
Sure. Did you have that over in post?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's better than for him to sound like this all the time.
Yep.
I'm gonna take you down, Batman. I am going to become fear.
we did not want a David Prowse on our hands.
Sure.
Because he does not put a lot of fear into you.
Right.
But yeah, so and the mask was designed by Justin Pogue, who just started doing mask making. We actually found him.
Really, that's
at a friend of mine.
Just starting. It looks that good.
That is his second time making a mask. He works at a bank. He was like, yeah, I can make masks. And we're like, okay. And I thought seeing his first mask, which is an Iron Man mask that he made out of metal and everything, I was like, okay, this guy must know what he's doing. Then he told me, oh yeah, this is only my second time doing it. I'm like, what?
Well, he clearly looks amazing.
Yeah. And the design was done by Shannon Pearson. I told her exactly what I wanted. She's like, okay, I kind of know. And it was very hard because at first she had no idea what Batman animated series is, which was our inspiration.
Yeah, definitely a lot of new arcs that we definitely saw in Batman's house.
And
in fact,
I was
I like Batman so much, I keep the animated series right here next to me.
Oh my! I actually have it right over here. I have all 3 volumes. I don't have the 4th one.
No, I understand.
The animation is just different. But
it's beautiful at the same time.
And I told all my friends, everyone who worked on the thing, I was like, all right, watch Batman the Animated Series. And half of them like, my gosh, I have to watch Batman the Animated Series for work. This is great. The other half were like, I have no idea what the show is. And so we started watching it. And then the other thing that we watched a lot of was Massive Phantasm.
Sure.
Which, in my mind, is my favorite. I mean, it is my favorite Batman film. And I think it is the best one.
That's a hard way to say the Joker Returns. Return of the Joker.
Oh, you
Batman
really
Beyond.
Oh, you really like that one?
Oh, I love Batman Beyond with a passion. I think Return of the Joker might be the best Batman movie we've ever gotten.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. I've
Mask
never
of
heard
Phantasm comes at a close second, though. It's amazing. And I'm including all the live action, too.
Yeah, I figure. I never heard anyone say that. I will say this. In Return of the Joker doing martial arts is amazing.
It's so good. I mean, obviously, we don't want to give away the twist, but it makes total sense.
Yeah, but yeah, and so we really took a lot of inspiration from Massive Phantasm. I watched that movie to death, while at the same time, I try to, think of things that people just don't normally do. So, Batman. He's a martial artist. You never see it a whole lot. I'm a martial artist. I've always loved it. So I was like, why don't we incorporate that more? Mm-hmm. Actually, we had some, the original concept art, we gave Batman no cape.
Really?
And
what just gives away?
And the reason why is because, I was thinking, well, if you're doing a spin kick, a cape could, hit your ankle and tear it. Mm-hmm. It was mainly because of budget reasons, because
that's smart. It's a good way to get around it.
When you don't have insurance a whole lot, and you don't want to pay for someone's hospital bills,
and you also don't want them to go in the hospital in the first place.
Yeah, I mean that is obviously true. And that was kind of the first thing. So we were like, okay, Batman, martial artist. Then we're like, all right, fan films. They don't have the greatest actors. That's what we're going to do. Within the first weekend, when we dropped the casting call, we had over 1,000 auditions coming in, really? And so we had when you're doing something, when you have models coming for you, like female models sending you any kind of pics. I'm like, okay, we're doing this. Although I've never had a female Batman before, but some of them were picking for that. I'm like, all right, well, because I was all about whoever is the best for the role. Mm-hmm. Let's do that. And so, we had anyone kind of just go for it. Obviously, we had who we had.
And plus, it's alternate universe, alternate rules. You don't have to make it exactly 1-to-1, which is also very freeing whenever you're doing a fan project like this. You're not having to deal with decades of continuity and stuff to work to hinder you.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And the one thing that's still scary about alternate universe is sometimes fans, including myself, don't like alternate universes because they think everything should be canon. Mm. I know that because I'm obsessed with Star Wars: The Clone Wars and early Star Wars. And when I found out, at first when Disney was getting rid of the extended universe not being canon. I was like, oh, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Mm-hmm. Well, there he goes, and obviously
right out the window.
Then obviously he came back. The rest is history.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what we did. The first episode is only about 15 minutes long. It's
still 15 minutes is a really solid runtime, especially for a web series.
Yeah, and the thing is it's obviously it's a pilot, but it's more of a pitch. It's kind of one of those things that we could have done all 3 episodes that we wanted to do, but it was like, if the fans love this, then we'll continue to do it. If not, so be it.
Yeah,
it was one of those. It was one of those things to play it safe.
Yeah, I totally get it. Well, how do you feel about opening the floor to some fan questions?
Sure, I'm down.
Sure, let's go. It's gonna take a little while for that to catch up. So let me go ahead and scrolling up. Oh, fittingly, we have a guy named Nightmare who wants to know about if you're aware of Nightwing the series, since they are very similar to what you have going on right now. Obviously, starring my boy Nightwing.
Was it a 2013 show? If so,
I believe so.
Yes, I have watched it. That was actually a big inspiration when we did the campaign, the crowdfunder, and that was a lot of stuff that we kind of compared ourselves to. It was very popular. I showed everyone who worked with it, like, okay, this is kind of what we have to do to be different, because we felt like that was kind of our competition.
No, definitely. I mean, granted, competition is a little strong, but no, yeah, of course. Another question, also again from Nightmare. It looks like it fell out. They want to know, is this Batman from Gordon's perspective? So is this mainly going to be focusing on the GCPD characters, or is Batman going to be coming in and playing a big role later?
So in the first episode, it's from Gordon's perspective.
Okay.
But the next 2 episodes, it's all Batman.
Okay.
It's pretty much the story of Batman versus Nightmare, and that's what we're going to go for.
So the first episode, like you mentioned, very much pilot, and then it's also a lot of build-up as well.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Let's see, we have... Where's some questions? People want to know if you've already reached your funding, or if you're looking for funding in addition to this.
So we will be looking for funding for the next 2 episodes. That will start the day of when we release it, which will be July 14th, 2017.
Okay.
And it'll probably be around 10,000 is our goal. We got most of the actors for a good price comparatively. And, everyone else has been very, very... they understand where we're at in terms of situation, in terms of money, and it's more about, let's get this product out because we think people will like it, and it's one of those things that we want to make it the best of our ability.
Yeah, and if it's good, people will flock to it, and it'll go build up on its own merit and talent. We have a question from Ike Rance, who wants to know how long each episode is going to be. Are they all going to be around the 15 minutes like the first episode?
So actually, no, they're going to get longer, and the reason why is because there's too much story. We have to explain the Nightmare character. We have to explain even more of the universe, because it's really a pitch to DC for the Nightmare character.
Sure.
I know it sounds crazy, but when you have the caliber of actors that we do, the people that they know, I wasn't even thinking about that a year ago until they brought it up to me. So what are you going to do with the character? I don't know. I thought about just filming in the St. Louis area because that's where I'm from. They're like, well, I know people like Raul Lee, but he worked with College Humor for several years, and then a bunch of other people. And they're like, well, we all have connections. We can make this happen. So it's kind of that. It's a 3-episode pitch, and the first episode 15 minutes. Second episode's about 17, 18, and the third episode because it's going to be about 25 minutes because there's going to be a lot longer of a fight scene, and we're going to need about 2 months to practice the choreography.
Wow, 2 months for the fight scene.
Yep.
That's going to be awesome.
I'm very passionate about making my fight scenes look the best that they can be, and that's why it's going to take 2 months to do it.
Okay, wow. That alone is something to look forward to. We got Krishan Smith wants to know if you're going to be using a Batmobile, and if so, which one will you be using?
We will not be using a Batmobile because it's set in the 20s. He'll be more free running or underground. We kind of, made it similar to kind of like the Assassin's Creed where he goes through tunnels and whatnot. But at the same time, I mean, because of budget reasons and whatnot, I mean, it'd be impossible to design Batmobile from the 20s. But we will be showing the Batcave a lot.
Okay.
And that's another big thing is detective work. It's going to be very similar to how like the Arkham games were.
What? The world's greatest detective is actually going to do some detecting?
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
It's weird that a lot of the comics and movies and shows kind of leave that out nowadays.
So, and the one thing that I wanted to bring back was the Bat computer, because it hasn't really been in anything since like the animated series. I was like, what happened to the Bat computer? And so we've been my writing team and we've been trying to figure out how to make it like sense of it to bring it in.
Computer.
Yeah. But at the same time, he's Batman. I mean, Batman the animated series was set in the 50s, and look at that computer.
Yeah. Another question is, how will everybody be able to watch the show when it comes out? Is that going to be just straight on YouTube or other places as well?
So it will just be on YouTube for right now.
So everybody should go subscribe to you right now so they'll be the first to see it when it comes out.
Yeah, subscribe to Red Fist Productions. Look for the giant red fist.
Oh, okay. So Red Fist. Got it.
Yep.
We have a question from my buddy Taya, who wants to know what were the other inspirations from the show for the show besides Batman the Animated Series.
Another big inspiration was Death Note. We loved the relationship of the characters in that show. Same thing with Rurouni Kenshin. I'm a huge anime fan, so it was very East meets West kind of story.
Well, let me ask you a question then, based on that then, because Death Note, obviously one of the main parts of that really makes the show great is that the hero and the villain are kind of interchangeable in that Kira and L. We're not even going to talk about Mello.
No, I know.
But they're both equally right for the viewers. So is there going to be a more sympathetic look towards Nightmare, and maybe is his crusade also going to be justified for some people's point of view?
It'll actually be more of Gordon and Batman.
Okay.
The relationship is a lot stronger, and because Batman has been gone for 3 years, Gordon resents that. He's upset because he's had to deal with everything, and so you'll get to see the fans and the audience, will get to see. I mean, was Batman the right for doing that? And we'll find out.
Yeah. We got a question from Mopey, who wants to know if we are going to be setting up Nightmare to be Bruce's superior.
In terms of the story, Nightmare, that is what he wants to be. He wants to be pretty much, the highest food chain in Gotham. As for if that happens or not, I cannot say. You'll have to watch.
Okay. Well, David Tegas wants to know, how far will Batman be in his career? Like, obviously, he left for those 3 years, but, I mean, has he been crime fighting Gotham for long and then decided to take a break, or is he more fresh on the scene?
So Batman is in his 40s. And
been around for a while.
Yeah, and what happened was, 4 years prior to this, Scarecrow mysteriously died, and Batman was kind of trying to solve that. Then he found a clue, and then departed Gotham, never explaining why he left. So it's kind of him coming back to figure out this unsolved case.
Okay. Let's take another question from Ultimate Games, who wants to know, will Batman be more brutal? And also, we'll go ahead and tie this in with the question that was also just asked, asking from Elvis Lego Productions, who wants to know, will Batman kill?
Batman will not kill.
Okay.
In terms of brutality, if you like the Raid, you've come to the right place.
Okay, so like the Raid, and what is his mentality a bit more like The Dark Knight Returns or Batman vs Superman, where he's a lot more of a brutal character?
I would say in terms of his aggressiveness towards how he deals with his foes, yes. But in terms of, actually killing them or, breaking limbs, probably not. But smashing their face into a wall, yes.
Okay. We'll take another question from Krishan Smith, who wants to know what is his relationship with the public? Is he more accepted or still in his darker days? So obviously Batman is gone, coming back. Now, there's probably going to be a little bit of of a division between the citizens of Gotham, because some people view him as a hero, some people view him as a vigilante. That he's also just as bad as the criminals. I'm sure those are going to be elements you're going to be playing with, but overall, what does the public think of him?
So most people actually, love Batman. I mean, he became the reason why Gotham is where they're at now. And that was another thing that upset Nightmare. At first, Batman is, what criminals fear. And then slowly but surely, he becomes the old Monday, oh, he's just doing this every day. And after a while, you get old of something, or you respect them so much. And that's what happened. People respected him, what he was doing, because he'd been doing this for 20 years.
Well, another personal question then. So has he lost any faith with the public since he's been gone?
Not really. He's lost more faith in terms of himself. He does not believe that he can take on new villains anymore because they're adapting and getting stronger faster, that they're unlike any other villains that he's, faced. I mean, these people are unknown. They are much bigger than him. They know more, and they're also, fresh. They're not injured. They haven't been doing this for 20 years.
Okay. I'm going to tie in a bunch of questions right here. They want to know if there are going to be other characters that are going to appear in the show. I mean, don't go too heavy into spoilers, obviously, but are we going to be familiar with a lot of these characters? Also, another question that was asked is, have there been Robins in Batman's past, and if so, was the death of Jason Todd a factor in any of this?
There is no Robins at all.
So there never even has been one established prior. Okay.
No, in fact, the only other villain that we might be throwing in, the writers and I are still working on this, is Professor Pig.
That's an interesting choice.
We really enjoy bringing in some of the lesser known characters. I really enjoyed the show Beware the Batman, and they did a lot of their lesser characters, and I started getting attached to them. And then Batman Arkham Knight came out with Professor Pig. We bring in Vicky Vale. That's another one that we bring in. And those are the other two outside of the main. You'll see a lot of the main cast in the first episode.
Okay.
Obviously, Alfred Pennyworth is still there. So.
Okay. Professor Pig is an interesting choice. Are you going to do him a bit more like the Arkham series, or a little bit more like Grant Morrison?
It'll definitely be more like the Arkham series.
Oh, thank God.
Just because, if everything else is just so rooted down, I'm not going to say grounded, but it's definitely, I mean, I don't know. I think the Arkham version is the most enjoyable for me,
Sure.
so.
Yeah.
And so, sorry.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. We have a slight lag with this stream.
Oh, no, it's fine. And I was just going to say, and so that's kind of why, if we're going with Professor Pig, like I said, there's still one other villain to reveal. We have it down to 3, but it looks like Professor Pig will be kind of the other villain, linked in the chain of all the other villains, because there's a big secret to be revealed in the next episodes on why this is happening.
Okay, so definitely a good air of mystery as well for him to solve.
Yep.
Ike Ramp wants to know, how much will the character line up? Will it be more original, or how much will be grounded in the pre-existing Batman mythos?
Nightmare?
Oh, I mean, just he never really specified which character, but I'm going to say characters in general.
So definitely Nightmare is all originality. I mean, we combined it with other villains, mainly so we have something to compare off of, so the audience understands, okay, this guy is powerful compared to who, or this is why it came to be. Batman is very similar to the Michael Keaton, at least his Bruce Wayne. We went for a more quirky version because right now we've gotten into the big brawler brute type of person, and I really liked having a smaller Batman that was more into efficiency of martial arts. And so, he's like a 5'10" Batman who is lean, he's muscular, and he's super quick. It's kind of like if Bruce Lee was Batman.
Right. I have another personal question. Are we going to be seeing a good amount of Bruce Wayne, or is he mainly just going to be in the Batman persona?
We will see a lot of Bruce Wayne.
Okay, so I'm really curious to see what you're going to be doing with him in the 20s. It's going to be really exciting.
Johnny Alonso's amazing. When we did the casting call and I saw him, I was like, he's the key to the show. He looks so different than everyone else and anyone who's ever been Bruce Wayne that he has to be Bruce Wayne. Mm-hmm. And when he came on board, I mean, I knew exactly that we had to write more scenes for Bruce Wayne because it'd be amazing to play off of him. Right. So, yeah.
Yeah, we have another question from Nightmare, and I think this might actually be the last one because we are getting pretty close to time. Are we going to see any cool gadgets in the Batman armory?
Some of them, I mean, you'll see the Batarangs, you'll see, the Bat Grapple. Those are kind of the main two. There's actually a couple of, sweet new uses of the Bat Grapple that we're actually working on, me and my stunt team. So when we get to that point, it's going to be pretty exciting to get to because we try to figure out ways how to use these weapons that Batman has never used before.
Really trying to take a new angle with it.
Yep.
Dude, this is all sounding great. Oh, there's actually a really good final question. That was going to be the one, but I actually want to know this now. Taya wants to know, why did you set it in the 20s?
So, I am obsessed with the 20s. I have always loved the 20s, and that is the time in the Midwest that we are still attached to. It's one of those, I mean, Al Capone's from here and stuff. I was like, man, bring in that, moonshiner, gangster period. It'd just be amazing. And so that's what we wanted to do. The most corruption was in the 20s, hence we put Gotham City back in the 20s.
Dude, that sounds amazing and exciting. Personal question? Jazz music. Are we going to be hearing some jazz and swing?
Actually, we will be hearing a little bit in a couple of scenes, but the main thing is I am really into, I don't know, a lot of the music is very oriental. Okay. We wanted to combine that East meets West, and so a lot of the fight scenes are very Eastern. The camera's farther back, lets you see the action. It's also very fast, hard hitting. The punches are real. Everything that you see is real. We use no mats. We use no wires. Every punch you will see it connects or is about to. Like, for instance, one of the stunts I took, Gordon hip tosses me over his shoulder onto concrete.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I mean,
okay. This is what you do for a living.
Yeah. And so that's some of the stuff that we did. We want it to be the hardest feeling thing. So everything's quick. Everything is trying to be as realistic as possible. If any punch connected us, well, we might be in the hospital. So that's why I found trustworthy people.
And I'm sure that you're going to be doing more long cuts to let the action play out, as opposed to a lot of American editing where they cut on every punch because to hide the fact their actors don't actually know how to fight.
Yep, we want to let people know that these people know exactly what they're doing, and also at the same time let the audience enjoy the fight for once. Mm-hmm. And for instance, I really love Episode 5, and I love the fact of Star Wars: Empire Strikes Back. We kind of set it up in terms of Luke and Vader never intermingle for two movies, and that's one of the best fight scenes ever. So Nightmare and Batman will not intermingle until the end of the show, and when they do, it's going to be amazing.
Oh yeah, all the stakes are going to be high at that point.
So
yeah, but we've been going for a good old half hour, and I think that we have gotten a lot of stuff out of this. I am personally really hyped. It looks like the audience is getting pretty hyped as well. So I know you've already mentioned a little bit of it during the Q&A, but where can people find you on different social medias? How are they going to be able to watch the movie, and how can they contribute and help make more of this show possible?
So our YouTube page, Red Fist Productions, same thing with Facebook, Red Fist Productions, Twitter, Red Fist Productions. Subscribe, follow all of those places. July 14th, that will be when the crowdfunder starts, when the first episode. If you like what you see, please, I beg you, support us. Because that way we can bring higher quality as well as better fight scenes. And for me, that's better.
Well, dude, thank you so much for sharing this, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk about this amazing project.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, hey, you heard the man. If you want to see more, I'm going to click on me so I can... Listen, hi, you know me. You can trust me. Go to all the different social media stuff. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, everything you can do. I want to watch this along with you guys. I'm going to get really excited. So thank you guys for joining me. Matt, thank you again for being here. You've been great.
Thank you.
And I hope you all have a good night. Bye.